Hey, it's Kai from Techno Funk Boy. We're going to be listening to some jams from Ikaruga today. This is a game that I have not played before. I've not watched this game before. That's the point of this series, is that I find some video game soundtracks. Normally people recommend them to me, and we check them out and we jam out to them, and we react to kind of what we think about them. Now, for those of you who follow me, you're like, where's Thomas the Train? Because if you're new, I promised Thomas the Tank Engine for our next video. There's a reason for that. You know what? We're gonna get to that a little bit, but I want to listen to some music first. And so let's find the music. This looks like it. Okay, well, this is unused music. Now, we're not going to start with something. Oh, those synth sounds are kind of cool. A lot of build-up in this song. A lot of... Oh, that's prologue. Of course there's a build-up. All right. Turn it down for just a second. Okay, let's just pause it. So it starts off with kind of a grand militaristic feel to it. You had kind of those military snares in the background, these big string sounds, and then we're going into much more synthy territory here that is pretty cool. When did this game Ikaruga, let's look as we do this to when this game came out. Okay, this was 01. So this is actually, it feels kind of like a throwback sound to it, to kind of a synthwave type sound, which of course I dig a lot. But it's still a mix, isn't it? So we're not jumping into like a rock beat. There's not a backbeat there. We're keeping the punch on the 1 instead of on the 2 and the 4, and so that's keeping that little bit of a kind of older military vibe to it. That's pretty cool. Let's jump over to Boss 1. Listen to how aggressive that percussion is. Oh, nice bass. Very cool. You hear those little snares going in the background? It's doing a few things. Okay, so this is doing a few things. It's really, really neat. All right, so this just really, really rapid driving snares in the background are giving us that sense of urgency. But meanwhile, the it sounds like, like some kind of timpani sound, and the orchestra hits are hitting, just clobbering the downbeats, and so we have this kind of complex rhythm where one with the snare is just constantly going, where the other one is bam, 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 and it feels like the blast from the cannon, the gun. It feels intense. So, end result is we have a song that is both very, 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 very intense and hard hitting, while also very urgent. That is very, very cool. And that's perfect. So, if you haven't played this game, and like I said, I have not, but this is a shmup. This is a shoot 'em up, and so right before we started, I watched just a little bit of the gameplay just to get a sense for it, and it's an old fashioned shoot 'em up with just some added 3D elements mixed in, but I mean just like all these old great games, and the soundtrack in these type of games are so important because when there's so much going on screen and so much intensity, you want to feel that in the song as well. You want those to complement each other, and this most definitely does. So this is track number 4. It's called Trial. And there's not a ton of tracks on this. We probably could get through most of them. We'll see how we do if I quit talking so much. Boy, it's hard to hear that, but there's these this synth doing like really short arpeggios in the background that's also helping to drive that beat, and that's something I do a lot when I'm wanting to kind of increase the intensity, is just to get like a good popping synth sound to do arpeggios in the background, and that's exactly what's happening here. Hear what like the whole orchestra comes in. Cymbals plug away. A lot more movement in tone and style, so we're gonna pull back a lot here. I really want to listen to this level to see if this is tied to something that's happening in the level itself. a heroic feel though to it. Does hold on. I go back that up there. And the band comes in, the full force, right there. This is just half step. Building tension. Yeah. Okay, so they have the intensity is still there, but they've really pulled back on the kind of desperate rush of it, and so this part just feels like heroic. This feels like, you know, like we're marching, you know, it's the point in the movie where we're marching forward and we're about to take the enemy and cool stuff like that. That is very cool. So this is going to lead into a boss fight here. We're taking that feeling. Hear that synth now, for sure. Okay, so it's kept that heroic flair. It's added a bit more tension to it. All right, we move on to Faith. Try to get as many of these in as we can. Get back up. Okay, I'm really interested about where all this stuff is happening in this game, and it's one of the disadvantages I have in doing this series blind, is that I don't know where things are. But we're losing our heroic edge. It's gotten darker. The intensity is still there. They're doing that motif of just pounding on the timpani and the cymbal crashes at the same time. It's really, I mean, just there's a punch there that's great. But this is darker now. So my question is, like, you know, wait, in the game, why? actually a good illustration of just like the introduction of one instrument or two instruments. Sounds like one, but I have to listen to it more closely. Can do to a song, to change it, to transform it. It's very, very neat. Gotten ways through that one. So let's go into reality. This is the 7th track in this listen. It sounds like here that they're trying to return back to the more heroic themes from a while ago, but it's being overwhelmed, and so we're keeping a little bit things a little bit darker still. Melody's there, right? The arrangement's different. The melody's there, but the arrangement is different in such a way that it is casting a darker shadow, which is very well done. We're going to try to go through these a little bit more quickly so that we can get bring this video in at a reasonable time. So, metempsychosis. Start that. This is just a gorgeous tune. I love this. Synth and that snare though, the synth and the snare though are keeping the pressure on, so to speak. Where this song is, almost mournful, but we're not resting. Even in the slowdown, we're not resting, which is important. Or we're gonna move along. The stone-like. They've gotten that punchiness throughout. I mean, that's the main thing that's holding like all of this really together. the first times that it's actually really, really slowing down. That's very neat. We're gonna listen to just a little bit of the epilogue here. That's nice. I really dig this. Um, so the composer here is Hiroshi Iuchi, and he is actually primarily a graphic designer. So he did he did a ton of crap for this game. He was the director of this project, and he did all the music. And he did a bunch of he was the planner, prototype production, 70% of background graphics. This is from Wikipedia. Um, the I'm looking through his other credits, and he most of it was as a designer and not as a composer, which is fascinating to me. So there's I'd say if there's anything particularly wrong with this soundtrack, it's it might be relying on too few tricks, like the punch of the timpani and the cymbals. Um, in a long play of this game, I don't know how the ear is going to react to that. In here in 20 minutes, it sounds great, but having that same kind of element used in the same way in a bunch of songs, I'm not sure how that is going to work. There's a few like chord progressions that he really likes, and it sounded like most of the songs were structured the same way. Those are minor quibbles. This is really good music. This is really good music, and I very much enjoyed it. So this is a lot of fun. I look forward to actually seeing how this interacts with the game directly. Um, Let me tell you about Thomas. So in the last of this series of videos, I ran across that the composer we were looking at did Thomas the Tank Engine. I said, I think twice, that I was going to do this video next. I did that video. I did that video. I listened to the whole thing and reacted to that video. And when I was done, I had mixed the music to soft so that you really couldn't hear it. And I was so annoyed, and I'm debating whether to kind of just recreate it and kind of tell you what I would have said, or just skipping it. I learned a lot in that video, but unfortunately we do. I'm not high tech here. Unfortunately, hopefully we'll grow. I'm not high tech here. I'm not like recording this on separate sound channels or anything like that where I can level it later. How I record it is how it is, and so my apologies on that. If you want me to react to that video, I'll redo it. I know what I said. and I'll act shocked and surprised. It's Thomas. You know what's coming. But it was fun to do. It was not something I would listen to, in my car. But it was still fun. And so that's what happened to Thomas the Tank Engine video. I do again apologize about not getting that out, but do let me know if that is something you're interested in seeing, or any suggestions that you have. We do have a few more suggestions from viewers that I'm going to get to. And so please, please, please hit that subscribe button somewhere around here. Hit that little bell icon. That's going to let you know when a new video is uploaded. I'm doing a couple of different series here. And I just kind of restarted a series where I am going through the original Dragonlance Advanced Dungeons and Dragons module and kind of exploring how to update these for 5th edition. So if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, that might be something that you really like. But one of my big focuses here is video game music. I love video game music. I want to keep hitting this, and so please, please, please hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and we're gonna see you soon. Thanks.